Hi, you have reached Robin B.
I'm Kay.
And we're coming from the chatter again. Thank you for being with us. Please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. That helps the channel out a lot. Keep us going. Thank you so much for doing that for us. And
Hmm.
today we're going to talk, we want to liven it up because, well, I won't say
Yeah,
because so
everything is
dull
just
and dim,
yeah, yeah,
right? Like it's so much problem. So we're going to talk about chimps, apes.
yeah, yeah. So don't believe everything you read and see on the internet, okay? Because I just explained to Robin that I saw this video where the guy said he was at a small zoo and a chimpanzee accidentally fell in the water and was struggling in the water. So he jumped in to save the chimpanzee because he said chimps can't swim. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know apes and chimps and gorillas and all the rest of them couldn't swim. So I'm thinking I learned something new until we Googled it.
They just don't want to. They can
Yeah,
swim.
they can swim,
They just
but
don't like to.
they said their necks point downward. We can hold ours up, but theirs are pointing downward. So that when they're in the water, their nose is under the water.
Right. And that was my question. I mean, most animals, not just mammals, but most animals swim naturally because they have that ability, they don't
Ability,
have
yeah,
that fear of water. That's why
yeah,
dogs can jump in when they're puppies. That's why babies can actually swim
jump in,
when they're
yeah.
really young. I mean, they float because the body has a natural thing to float. And that's what they
Hmm.
were saying about the mammals, the chimps, the apes, and the gorillas specifically that they were talking about. Um,
Hmm.
their body weight, they don't have a lot of fat and they have a lot of muscle, so it tends to sink them.
Yeah,
And that's why they don't, prefer to
like the
swim.
yeah.
I wouldn't either if I knew I was going to sink all the time.
Hey,
But that was a good little story. That was a good little tidbit to learn. So
yeah.
you're
And now
right.
I gotta unlearn it.
Do not listen to everything you hear on the internet. That's for sure. Because there was so many different people saying different things, like
Yeah,
chips can't swim. Oh yes, they can. Well, to me, well, not just mammals, like I said, you see
yeah.
deers in water. You know what? I was in Florida and there's an island called Deer Island.
Oh wow.
It's on the Keys. It's one of the Key Islands. And
Nice.
I'm going down the road, right, going to Key West, and I see this island with all of these deers on it. And
Wow.
it was called Deer Island. And that's because deers can swim. So
Oh
deer jump in.
wow.
I know, and I was like amazed too. And what happened was they go to this island, they migrate and they mate and they do all kinds of stuff, but they swimming from nearby places. And it's called Deer Island. There's nothing but
Okay.
deers on there.
Nice.
I know. It was really fascinating to me. I mean, there's people out there that know deers can swim. I guess people who live in the country and stuff like that. But
I see them all the time, but I didn't know they swim.
yeah, and this thing is that it's the down in Florida is called it's part of the Keys is called Deer Island.
Deer Island, that's kind of funky.
I
Yeah.
know, and I'm like, and you look around and you don't see nothing but water, right? When you go
Yeah.
to the Keys, you don't see nothing but water. I'm like, where did these deers come from?
Wow.
But they swam from main islands and they made it, and now it's just habitat by with only deers.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
another little tidbit going on there, but anyway, that's from us, from the chatter. And they will be with us. I know it's kind of stupid. We wanted to lighten it up.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
you learned
yeah.
something today.
It's
If you didn't
different.
know that apes and them couldn't swim, well, now you know. They could, they just don't like to. But anyway, anyway, thanks again. Coming from the chatter, I'm Robin.
Okay.
We'll
Until
see you
next
soon.
time.
Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget about our June giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say
For
July. The
subscribers
time passing
only.
by so fast.
Yeah.
The June giveaway, yeah, we'll probably be announcing the winners next week, and it's really nice what you're gonna get. And so we also had a question whether if you're overseas, can you also get this? Yes, we made it specifically.
It's worldwide.
Oh, yes, it is. So thank you so much. Thanks from the chat. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.